All my crimes happened back to back. I'm a New Haven sergeant at the New Haven Police Department.
It was all necessary because I wouldn't be able to do the things I do now.
I made a lot of bad decisions.
This man spent 20 years in prison and then became a police officer to reunite with his arresting officer.
I love you, and I know it ain't over, buddy. It's just the beginning.
This is Cory Alwood, and he spent his early 20s as a raging alcoholic until he got into too many legal troubles.
While suspended, started drinking more, just kind of let myself get out of control.
And that was how he met this Indiana police officer named Brad Durham.
A lot of the stuff that he did was just bad decisions, but it got him in enough trouble, and he did enough of it that it took him to prison.
Officer Brad Durham eventually arrested Cory for multiple offenses, leading to a sentencing of 20 years in prison, and 12 of them in solitary confinement. And that length of solitude led Cory to think about his life.
How can I make amends? How can I get other people to see what I've been through and not make them go through the same experience? That 1 second of one day can change your life. When I see one of my friends set himself on fire and kill himself because he could not do not one more day in there, is this going to be my life? Do I want to be in?
Cory's life changed from that moment, and upon his release, he immediately reached out to the officer who arrested him.
I get this phone call. He says, "Hey, Brad, this is Cory." And I'm like, "Cory?"
It's guys like Brad who drove that police car and took me to jail, but treated me like a human being and made a difference and saw that.
He tells me, "Hey, all those things that you were giving me advice when I was on the outside before I got arrested, I thought about that while I was in prison." And he says, "I want to be a cop."
And Officer Brad's words of advice led Cory to eventually become a police officer.
I rose my hand and took the oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of Indiana as a sworn police officer.
I was going through my shirts and I found a shirt, and I happened to know that I was wearing that shirt the day that I arrested him. And I thought, you know, this is a good reminder, because of all the shirts, that one is going to mean the most to him. He never wants to stop where he's at.
I want to be the cop that pulls up and I understand instantly when I get there what you're going through or what the different perspectives can be.
And interestingly, Cory's mission of saving someone came through, because on his third day as a police officer, he managed to talk a man off a bridge.
I watched the guy throw his backpack and jump up on the bridge, where it's 200 feet below is 4 lanes of semis going 70 miles an hour.
I love you, and I know it ain't over, buddy. It's just the beginning. Just the beginning for you.
Officer Brad's kindness led Officer Cory to become a lifesaver like himself.
All my crimes happened back to back to back to back, so.
This man was once sentenced to 5 years in prison for doing drugs, but he turned his life around to become a police sergeant.
I'm a New Haven sergeant at the New Haven Police Department.
It starts in the late 1990s when a young kid in New Hallville named Amir Williams began selling drugs.
So we initially started selling marijuana, graduated to selling crack cocaine. And we wasn't selling dime bags, selling weight, what we call weight, 8 balls and up. All my crimes happened back to back to back to back, so they all got concurrent. They were on concurrent. So my sentence was 15 years after 5 years, 3 years probation.
Williams was convicted of drug-related charges and sentenced to 5 years in prison and 10 years of probation upon release. He had planned to continue selling drugs once out, but he also didn't like prison life very much.
So the aha moment came probably about the 3rd year. Because the first 2 years, I was thinking about going back out being a jerk again, doing what I wanted to do. After that 3rd year came, I was like, it's a lot of time being away. I went to jail. I went to prison at 22. I didn't come home until I was almost 27. I did 4.5 years after 5. So that 3rd year kicked in. I was like, I don't want to be here no more. This is terrible. I don't want to come back here no more. I don't want to be around a whole bunch of men. There's no women except for the COs. It's just, that was the aha moment. I just did not want to be in there no more, because it was like, just being in there just took away from who I was, and it just wasn't me to be locked up and locked in with a cage with a bunch of men. So much testosterone, so many people want to fight for the dumbest reasons. You're arguing over stupid things. The food is disgusting. Got limited movement. It's a whole lot of things that go on in there, and it's just like, this is not normal. People have all types of emotional problems when they get out of here, and it's not for me.
So when Williams finished his 5-year sentence, something made him want to change his life for good.
As they say, if you're using drugs, I kind of backslid and I started doing it again. But I almost got caught twice. So after the second time I almost got caught, that was another aha moment. I was like, man, I'm not doing this. I got 10 years hanging because I had 15 spent after 5. So if I violated that probation, I owed Connecticut 10 years. Got rid of everything and I just went to work. I got back in school, got my associate's degree. I started working again, ended up getting my bachelor's degree. I have 2 master's degrees also, so.
Things seemed okay for Williams, but his criminal history made getting high-paying jobs hard. So he met a New Haven police sergeant who advised him to get a pardon. And he not only got the pardon, but became a police officer.
I'm a New Haven sergeant at the New Haven Police Department. So became an officer in July 28th, 2014. I became a police officer by applying I received a pardon in 2012, be okay. And so from that point on, I said, maybe this is for me. I applied, and I was blessed. I was blessed to become a police officer. I know people that have applied to 40 or 50 police departments and they don't get on, and they have somebody like me. Like I said, I guess light that struck, God bless me, and I applied one time and I got myself through.
Not only did Williams become a police officer, but 7 years later he was promoted to the role of police sergeant, the same role occupied by the officer who helped change his life. So Sergeant Williams decided to help other people as well by working in the police department and writing a book on his journey.
I'm here to let people know that it's very possible to make that transition and not think about it. I don't think about telling judges anymore. I don't think about any type of crimes anymore. I got kids at home, I got bills I gotta pay, I got vacations I want to take, and that's what it's about, living life and trying to I'm only here for a short period of time. Trying to live life to the fullest, enjoy myself, be happy as I can be, and help as many people as I can help.
Williams has so far helped many ex-convicts get pardons and get a second chance at living their best lives as he has done. But the next success story involves an 11-year-old criminal who eventually became an award-winning lawyer.
It was all necessary because I wouldn't be able to do the things I do now had I not been through those experiences.
If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. It starts in the 1990s when an 11-year-old immigrant named David Lee started his life of crime in Miami because of poverty.
I was put on probation, and then the vicious cycle started. You can name it, I got charged with it.
Do you think you didn't care at that point?
I lost hope. I didn't care about anything. I just knew that poverty was going to be my demise, and if I didn't do anything to overcome being broke, no one was going to help me.
David began selling drugs at 11, and by 19, he'd been arrested 30 times. He didn't mind this, but he saw what the gang life was doing to his siblings, so he decided to stop, and it wasn't that easy.
Personally, I was saved. I found my faith, and that changed everything for me. So once I stopped gangbanging, I had a lot of retribution come my way. So for years, I kind of hid in the shadows of my community.
And in those years of hiding, David picked up a career in the one thing he had experienced firsthand in his life of crime.
I saw how the criminal justice system was functioning, and it didn't make any sense to me.
He applied to 50 different law schools, and after 49 rejections, was accepted to one, eventually becoming a licensed lawyer with a simple goal.
The goal is to understand who you are, what you want to become.
On becoming a lawyer, David created a nonprofit called Rehabilitation Enables Dreams for former criminals wanting to change their lives for the better.
Critical is establishing an initial bond. And so to do that, one must create a bridge of relatability to let them know and understand that there's somebody in the program that understands.
Information is powerful.
And with the help from other team members, David changed the lives of multiple people.
Folks help me out, so they'll do the same for you. It's really like a motivator. Because, I mean, a lot of people that we come in contact with, their stories are a lot worse than ours. So it's like, if they can make it, you can make it.
Today, David is an award-winning lawyer and an author of a book about the American dream, a long way from where he started.
It was all necessary because I wouldn't be able to do the things I do now had I not been through those experiences. It's shocking to think that this life that I'm living now started where it started.
But the next ex-convict not only became a lawyer, but also beat all odds to become a county prosecutor.
Who need a second chance? Who better than me? By 17, I quit school, and by 21, I was in prison.
James White grew up in the type of household that made it almost impossible for him to not get into crime.
By 17, I quit school, just like everybody in my household. And by 21, I was in prison, almost just like all of the young black guys in my community.
At 21, White was sent to prison for 2 years for armed robbery, but while there, he did something different from the people in his community.
I became almost an encyclopedia, just reading.
White educated himself and got his GED while still in prison, and only 2 years after his release, he enrolled in college.
Graduated summa cum laude. I was the most outstanding senior, which is sort of the valedictorian of the class. I was student body president. I mean, I just went all in.
But even with this outstanding feat, White's criminal history seemed to hinder his ambitions. But that was until he learned something that would change his life.
You can be a convicted felon, and you can actually still get into law school as a convicted felon. You have to spell everything out, period. You have to tell every single detail, holding nothing back. That's what I did.
Since White was a first offender, prosecutors in Georgia decided to seal his felony record and allowed him to take the bar exam. And in the next 3 years that followed, White graduated law school and became the assistant prosecutor in Fulton County, working under the Solicitor General.
I think he's compassionate about the fact that he committed an offense and made a mistake. And I think he's highly motivated to protect victims, but also having that beating heart of compassion to even more aggressively assist those who need a second chance.
Who better than me? Who better than someone who has been through the criminal justice system, who has made the mistakes, and who has had the foresight to say, you know what? I need to take accountability.
White not only broke free from his community struggle, but also turned around to help people in that same community.
And then when I was 12 years old, I started smoking weed because I got into junior high school. Before school, at lunch, after school.
In the 1980s, Charlie Roberts grew up in a relatively unsafe home in California because of his father.
My dad was an alcoholic. He was a functioning alcoholic because he worked for Firestone where they made tires. But I just remember when being a kid, I mean, he was pretty abusive, and the alcoholism, man, really got to him.
I just got so bad that Charlie's parents eventually split up, leaving Charlie, his 2 brothers, and his mother. But not only did Charlie use drugs, but he also sold drugs after he was convinced to join a gang. And Charlie spent 30 days in juvenile jail at 11, but then he would go on to get kicked out of all 5 high schools in his district. He didn't feel bad for himself at this time, but he felt bad for someone whose life was change anything, as Charlie later got introduced to using weed and coke at 15, and after 5 arrests, was imprisoned for 2 years. Charlie enjoyed working undercover and unofficially with the sheriff's office, but his criminal history couldn't legally allow him to become a deputy. However, there was. So with that, Charlie worked as a deputy before working as a corrections officer and then a criminal investigator. He eventually retired from the role and now helps people with his story after being 33 years clean from drugs and 14 years clean from alcohol.
Day to day.
If you like this video, YouTube thinks you'll enjoy these too.